Gosh, I hope I can get through this with my voice today. Oh well, here goes. If you're leading a team in 2025 and you're feeling a bit stretched, then this is for you. You know, these are the 10 books that I keep coming back to, the ones that I recommend most when somebody says, you know, what should I read to become a better leader? Welcome to Great Boss Weekly. My name's Mark, and every week I share a simple, real-world idea to help you to lead with more clarity, to build a better team culture, and not to burn out while you're doing it. Now, apologies for my voice this week. I was at Wembley on Saturday for the final, and I am a Crystal Palace fan, and that should tell you all that you need to know about why my voice is in such shocking condition today. But anyway, we'll do our best. Let's dive in. 10 books, 3 categories, and 1 you can pick up this month to get moving again. So in this section, I'm going to start off with the 1 Minute Manager by Ken Blanchard, and this is the one that I give to new managers every time. It's the one we do very first week of my boot camp. We talk about the simplicity and the value of doing small things consistently, which make a huge difference. And this is a brilliant book because it's simple, it's clear, it's totally doable, and it teaches you 3 things. Set clear goals, you know, the 1 minute goal setting. Praise fast, 1 minute praises, and it talks about the 1 minute corrections as well. And if leadership feels a bit messy and you can't sort of get your head around it at the moment, then start here, because 1 minute at a time will really get you where you need to be. Now, this book's brilliant because it shows you that procrastination, and we're all guilty of this, we all suffer from this. You know, I said guilty. Why did I say guilty? We all suffer from procrastination because procrastination is not laziness. It's usually fear or overwhelm, and it's dressed up as busy. And this book really helped me to name what was happening when I kept avoiding the work that I needed to do. And instead of shaming you, it gives you the tools that really, really work, including guilt-free play, which is something that I practice before I get started every day. So having some fun before you get started, that's absolutely okay. And if your motivation has tanked a little bit or your brain feels a bit foggy, then this is a great one for you. Well, the next one, The Game Plan by Steve Bull. Now, this book really matters to me. It's got a very special place in my heart. Bull is a sports psychologist, and he was the sports psychologist for the England cricket team when they won the Ashes back in 2005, long time ago now, it seems like yesterday. But what he teaches is really simple and very beautiful to leadership, because it's all about how you think clearly under pressure, how to set mental routines which take you away from that confusion and that spiral that you can get into, and how to reset when things go sideways. Now, I first read this book when I was leading a team during a very, very tough time. I mean, you know, in East Africa, with all the cultural pressures that we had going on, we had an incredible amount of pressure, and, you know, I won't go into all the details, but let's just say that I was really wobbling, and this book was a huge help to me because it really helped me to break down my thinking, to take control of it, and then put it back into place again. And I still use the principles of this when I'm building up to a big moment, building up to a big day. So I absolutely heartily recommend The Game Plan by Steve Bull. I mean, let's face it, anything by Simon Sinek is going to be a good book. But Leaders Eat Last, I think, is fantastic because it talks about trust. Where does the trust come from in your team? This book explains it in a way that makes it really, really clear from a biological and an emotional standpoint. So, you know, as a scientist, I want to know where the science comes in, and this book does that very, very well. And he shows that when people feel safe, they work together much more positively. When they feel threatened, they protect themselves. And so it's really clear for us as leaders that if our team feels edgy or siloed, then it's about building trust and helping people to feel safe. And this book's going to show you how to shift it. And leading on very nicely from that is The Culture Code by Daniel Coyle. Now, this is the one that I wish more leaders read, because Coyle did some very good work on studying high-performing cultures, Navy SEALs, Pixar, IDEO, and he found 3 key ways that every high-performing culture does things. 3 key skills that they practice. And what I love about this is it's not fluffy, it's based on the evidence. You can actually use it. So if you want to build real trust, if you want to encourage input from your team, if you want to spark their loyalty without needing to sort of ping pong between different ways of doing things, or have constant pizza Fridays, that sort of stuff, it has a place, but it doesn't work if you're trying to build culture. Then this book is a real must for you. Really famous one, this, Five Dysfunctions of a Team by Pat Lencioni. It's told as a fable, breaks down what's usually going wrong when teams go wrong. And the five dysfunctions: lack of trust, fear of conflict, lack of commitment, avoidance of accountability, and inattention to results. And nailing all five of those, this gives you a model for doing that. And I use this book all the time when a client says, we just don't feel like a team anymore. Well, it's going to be one or more of these factors that are going on. Anything by Pat Lencioni is absolute gold. This is probably his best book. Having said that, Silos, Politics and Turf Wars, again, Pat Lencioni. Now, I use this in my leadership program because it shows very clearly how it's so important to break down those divisions that can get into a team. And you don't need a team of 200 to have divisions and silos. If you've got a team of more than 3 or 4, you can have silos because everybody protects their own little area. And this one focuses on those divisions in the organisation, and it shows if you don't check those tensions, then that creates a big cultural problem. And I recommend this book when I see signs like, oh, that's not my job. Why didn't anybody tell me that this was important? If leaders are pulling in different directions. It's got a fantastic planning framework, which I also use in my quarterly reviews with clients to help them to focus. So if you've got a big project coming up, then this is a great book to read. I highly recommend it. Got really fond memories of reading this book, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. It really changed how I thought about leadership. Now, each chapter of this is a principle, and not in a preachy way. They're very practical, they're story-driven, like with all of John Maxwell's books. They're really grounded in his experience, but also the access that he has to really, really successful and effective leaders. Things like the law of connection, the law of influence, and the law of the lid. This is the one that I teach week 2 of my leadership course, because the law of the lid is fundamental, because your leadership level starts and it sets the limit of your organisation's level of growth. Well worth taking a look at. And it was this book that I read when I first realised that leadership wasn't just about a title, it was about who I was and how I showed up. The power of moments is really key, because I think this is one of the things we really miss as leaders, that there are opportunities that we have every day, every week, to celebrate stuff which can really make a difference in the way that our teams form. And why do some experiences that we have stay with us and others vanish? And the book is all about how to create moments that matter, not just the celebrations, but using onboarding, feedback, meetings, even apologies can be ways to use the power of those moments in a way that reinforces your culture. So if you want your leadership to feel meaningful and not just kind of managerial, then this is going to show you how to build those experiences that can make people feel seen and valued. And then finally, win at work and succeed at life. This is for you who quietly believe that you should have to choose either being great at work or being present at home, but not both. They're obviously, they can't coexist. But the Hyatts reject that, and they offer what they call the double win, which is structure, boundaries, and rhythms that really let you do well in both places. And it's a reset button. This is a fantastic book, especially if your calendar's been kind of calling the shots lately. And I keep going back to this book, because with the best will in the world, we all come off of the intentions that we have. We all come off of the way that we want to structure our life. And so when life gets really busy and I know that I've missed a few things and I've started to drift into the risk of overwhelm again, come back to this book, because it's really going to help. And it comes from real life experience. Michael Hyatt was a burned out, overworked executive. Megan Hyatt-Miller at the time was his 15-year-old daughter, the oldest of 5, and they never really saw each other because of his work schedule. And they found a different way to do that. He's very much reformed, and this is a great book to read for all that. So that's your list. 10 books grouped into how you can lead yourself, your people, and your practice with real clarity. Now, your challenge this week is to pick one, just one that jumped out at you today, and read it this month, and just apply one idea. You don't have to finish them all, but you do have to keep learning, because you can't pour from an empty cup. You can't lead your team if you are dry and burned out on the inside. Now, keep sticking with this, because no one taught you to be a great boss, but you can learn to become one. See you next week, and don't forget to hit subscribe.